All right. So listen, a few years ago, the big news is everyone was moving to Austin, Texas from California, especially in the tech world, right? Or to Florida. Tech companies moved in. Tech companies are moving out. What the fuck is going on? Let's talk about it.
This was the fastest growing city in the US just a couple years ago. Today, its home prices have fallen more than any other city in the country. So what is happening?
Remember when everyone said Austin?
Home prices are declining like crazy, but we've also built a lot of housing because we've gotten rid of stupid zoning restrictions that most major cities have. So we've built more housing than most cities, and rent has gone down more than anywhere else.
And is the next Silicon
major
Valley.
cities.
So we moved during COVID. They would jokingly say, oh, don't bring California to Texas.
Tech companies were moving in. Elon Musk was tweeting about it. Property prices were going crazy. People called it the future of American innovation.
My rent was $1,800, so it like almost tripled over the past 2 years.
Developers rushed in building skyscrapers, new homes and offices.
Bungalow and Container Bar
We're
were
still
like my
building a
favorite
lot of new
bars,
homes.
and they're
It
both
slowed down a little, but we're still building a lot of new homes. Towers are popping up everywhere.
just wiped out and they're construction war zones.
But now, layoffs and empty office spaces tell a different story.
Prices are falling, tech jobs are dying up, and a lot of people who moved here, they're rethinking it.
As tech is returning to work, people are starting to leave Austin. I think there's a lot of people, even neighbors particularly, who are upside down.
When I talk to people and ask some why they've left Austin, the biggest reason I'm getting is this.
So what
Because it's fucking hot.
happened to Austin, Texas? And why did a city that looked unstoppable suddenly hit the brakes?
This is going to be the tallest building in all of Texas.
That's not true. That's a Republic Tower. That's incorrect. Actually, it may have been correct at the moment, but we've built like 3 towers taller since then.
It's getting ready to open, but if I was a developer, I would be freaking out right now because as you can see, there's gonna be 833,000 of total square feet. So during the pandemic, Austin became the place for tech workers escaping California. And the city was very appealing. I mean, if you think about it, Texas, or Austin especially, was a fun city. There wasn't a lot of COVID and regulations that you would see in California, like closed.
The city tried. State said no, for what it's worth. NVIDIA just signed a massive lease. It's in kind of our second downtown in the north called the Domain. They signed a huge lease recently. So we still got some movement going on, but it's definitely a weird time for tech, and we're a major tech city, second largest campus for Apple. And we're just building a lot of housing, making prices go down, and the influxes, slowed down dramatically. So yeah, this isn't surprising.
Gyms, or you must wear a mask in a grocery store. Also, no income tax and just a cheaper quality of life, cheaper apartment, cheaper housing. So you could start to see why this place was so appealing.
Not to mention warm weather, a weird artsy culture, and way cheaper than the Bay Area. Big names came fast. Tesla announced its Gigafactory near Austin in 2020.
It's huge, guys. Driving past this is fucking crazy. This building is insane. Yeah, but it does supply a lot of jobs.
Oracle moved its headquarters from Redwood City to Austin.
But now it's moved to, even though the building's still there, it still employs many people. Their headquarters is technically moved to Tennessee.
Dropbox, Palantir, and Apple all expanded their offices. VC money followed. In 2021, Austin-based startups raised almost $5 billion. That was up 200% from 2019. Home prices also insane. Median home value in Austin in January 2020 was just $325,000. By mid-2022, over $550,000.
Yeah, but rates were also down, and it was just a very competitive market, right? Everyone was trying to rush in for those low rates, so it's a different period of time now.
$50,000.
Chops
That's
for
a
Rico.
70%.
No, he got
increase
fired
in
from
just
Tesla.
over 2 years. For a while, it felt like Austin had won the tech.
No income taxes, other taxes go up for it. Sure, but property taxes and sales taxes are all high in California as well, even with income taxes. We have a 6.5 sales tax flat across the state, but cities can add 2% on top of that, and we do that in Austin, obviously, or 8. I think 6.25, and then. Property taxes are high, and Austin's advocating for raising property taxes substantially higher, but the state's trying to fight it, but the state doesn't really seem to do much when it comes to property taxes, and it's fucking ridiculous. It's disgusting.
Lottery.
Just a few years ago, tech companies were racing here to Austin to open up offices.
But then the cracks started to show. In late 2022 and throughout 2023, the tech industry slowed down. Interest rates rose, funding dried up, layoffs began. Nationwide, over 300,000 tech workers were laid off from 2022 to 2024. And Austin, as a growing tech hub, got hit hard. According to the Austin Chamber of Commerce, tech job postings fell 25% from 2022 to 2024. Companies paused hiring, and some even pulled out. At the same time,
I mean, when a local economy is like super dependent on an industry and that industry gets hit, it's going to be damaging. If energy gets hit, Houston gets hit, right? You know, finance gets hit, Dallas gets hit. So there's a lot of things that get hit per city for sure. And when the fucking stock market got hit, when the housing crisis 2008 bubble hit, New York City got hit huge, you know? So it's definitely a moment for a city like this.
And the cost of living skyrocketed and the infrastructure couldn't keep up. People moved in, but the I-35 was a mess. There's no comprehensive metro system and
we voted as a city a few years ago for public infrastructure, though. For transportation, public transportation, this is taking forever to do, and it's beyond expensive, and it's ridiculous, and it's stupid.
Construction was delayed due to high materials costs. The dream started to feel off.
Right now, San Francisco and Austin are tied for having the most available office space. 27% of available office space is sitting empty in both of these cities. So now you can imagine.
And I'm sure it'll be when tech takes off again, which it always will at some point. At some point, you know, it'll take off again, but this is not the time for office. I don't think office will ever be what it is again, but I mean, remote work is headed down in general, and you know, it's kind of where we are. I-35 is horrible. Yeah, I mean, pretty much every city highway is horrible. One more lane won't fix it either. So I don't know.
When you're about to come to market with all of this space, who is going to be lining up for that space? It's going to be interesting.
In May 2022, median home prices were about $570,000, but by May 2024, they were just $435,000.
But we built a lot of housing
That's
too.
a 23%.
Unlike most cities.
Drop in a couple years. And with the growth slowing down, that's bad news for developers who are banking on, well, crazy more growth.
There's not a lot of people that move to Austin that stay in Austin. They come in, get what they need to do, and then they kind of leave.
I think there was just
It's a transitory city, absolutely.
this like hump in how expensive things were, and it's finally finding like its original level. I think it's still going to crash because all of this is still finishing. So there's so much inventory that still hasn't been opened up yet.
Even worse, some neighborhoods saw price drops of over 30%, especially new builds in the suburbs that were bought during the peak frenzy. And it wasn't just prices, sales volume tanked too. Listings are staying on the market for over 70 days compared to just 18 days in 2021. A lot of people who bought at the top, well, they're stuck.
Hi, listen here, Financial Audit. I've curated the exact resources and tools I personally use or would use if I was in certain situations. So take advantage of these offers in the resources section in the description below. The first one, I've moved my investments to Webull. Do the same and transfer to my investing app of choice, and you get cash bonuses of $200 all the way up to $30,000 depending on initial funding amount, and up to 8.1% APY on your money, and up to 3.5 matches for your IRA. And then number 2, a great new checking account that I've switched over from SoFi, and it's called Chime. Get that $550 bonus when you sign up with direct deposit and get almost 4% on your money just sitting there. And then 3, automate your investing with Acorns. Usually sign-up incentives are only $5, but you get $20 with my link. Number 4, you can increase your income and boost your resume with a course career certification. 5, if T-Mobile is good in your area, switch to Helium and get a literal $0 a month phone plan for the same exact service. But most importantly, go get your free Hammer financial score and see where you stand in the world of finances. Take the assessment at calebhammer.com. You will not regret any of these. Change your life today. No, I don't know what this is. Never mind.
Underwater mortgages are back in certain zip codes.
It was a lot cheaper to live in, and Austin was like, at the time at least, really cheap. My rent was $1,800. So it like
Austin's no longer the most expensive city to live in Texas because we've built so much housing.
almost tripled over the past 2 years being there. And then like the price of food's increased, the price of like everything's gone up. And it's still like very affordable now, and rent is like dropping like 40%.
Another big shift that's happening is the return to the office. So with more companies mandating their employees in the office at least a few days a week.
I think people just moved here thinking it wasn't going to be as hot as it was. And also I think the remote work trend is kind of dying, and people are going back to where they were originally working from.
It is. Companies are kind of done with remote. Now, remote stuck around for a long time because we were more in an employer's market where employees were able to, or an employees market where employees were able to negotiate a bit more. Now people are afraid of finding another job if they get laid off. So employers are kind of able to dictate anything, and they're dictating, oh yeah, if you're going to work here, you're going to come to the office. I think Austin is more affordable than Dallas. Yes.
The pandemic,
Now.
Austin thrived because people thought remote work was here to stay. But since 2023, Google, Meta, and Apple have all pushed return to office policies. So guess what? Many people who moved to Austin while working in San Francisco companies either had to move back or quit. Net migration of tech workers to Austin slowed by 40% between 2022 and 2024.
Even some of the companies that moved here left. So I think Meta was supposed to have like $1 billion lease in a new building. They dropped that.
And I know that Oracle used to be based out of Austin, and now they're looking to be based out of Nashville. So
Yeah, from the technical HQ, but I do believe, does Caleb respond? Yes, but only to things that are relevant to what we're talking about usually. But I think they're keeping the same amount of workers in the office still there, if not upgrading.
I think a lot of tech companies as well aren't like picking Austin.
While the concept of remote work didn't die, the hype did, and Austin felt the burn.
When I talk to people and ask some why they've left Austin, the biggest reason I'm getting is this.
I think a lot of Californians and a lot of people from like outside of Texas moved here, not thinking it was going to be like you hear it like it's hot summers when it's like June, July, August, like it's 105 outside and you can't even like leave the house.
These 3 months are miserable, guys. My girlfriend and I, we love going on walks. We love just like going out and doing stuff. You can't right now. It's impossible. It's 100 degrees every day and humid. It's impossible.
Another thing I learned here is this. A huge part of Austin's real estate boom was investors, not actual locals. By 2022, over 28% of homes sold in
That's fucking crazy. I had no idea the percentage was that high. That's insane.
Austin were two investors, hedge funds, Airbnb owners, and out-of-state landlords
That's
piled
crazy.
in. They treated Austin like the next Miami or Scottsdale, but when the Fed hiked interest rates, those investors calmed down.
Which honestly, to me, I still think I am long on Austin. I think when rates go down, which unfortunately is taking longer due to, a lot of things that we could debate, but whatever. I think if rates go down in half, let's say, if we ever hit that where mortgage is at 4%, I think Austin's going to take off again. I think Austin's going to be a very boom and bust town, especially since we don't have policies like as many zoning restrictions anymore. We don't have rent control. That's where we see higher ups, but also lower lows. So it's going to be interesting.
Airbnb profits shrank, many homes flooded the market. And with fewer real end users buying, prices had to adjust. And that's a big
only reason Oracle is moving HQ to Nashville is to be closer to healthcare company epicenter. Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense.
Reason why Austin's price correction was the steepest in the country.
Behind me is what's called Waterline Tower. This is going to be the tallest building in all of Texas.
Literally incorrect. We've built a taller building since this guy's filmed. We have the tallest building in the South now. It's pretty cool. But that's just because we just build so much. It's a very buildy city.
They started construction in 2022, anticipating a massive, massive boom. The building will be ready in 2026.
Let's be clear, Austin didn't crash, it just kind of came back to earth. The population is still growing, though a lot slower, around 1.3% in 2024. That's down from 3% in 2021. Companies are still hiring and many have big campuses. Austin's job market is stable.
A month ago,
Unemployment
I think he was
is
just
under
wrong.
4%. But the idea that it would become a tech utopia overnight, well, that's no longer realistic. What Austin's going through is what many cities experience after a boom. It's a correction, a rebalancing, a reality check.
It's actually crazy how much Google I'm seeing. You have a massive Google logo at the top of that building, and it seems like a big part of that building is for Google, and then you just cross the street and you see way more Google stuff, the whole lobby, the logo. It's really fascinating here. It's really kind of intriguing to me because I don't see this much outside of New York or Silicon Valley.
So here's my lesson from all this. Boomtowns can...
Another reason they like Austin, Dallas, because it's split between California and New York. It's like those two major hubs. You got Texas, the Texas Triangle, second most populated state in the country, major metros, good connections between each with highways at least. Should have high-speed rail, of course. But it's halfway in between. Dallas is a huge airport. It makes sense to have a hub here. So it makes sense. I've not always been in Austin. I've been in Austin for 8 years, though. Still hipster Mecca. Definitely quite a bit. Taxes low too, not property taxes.
No matter.
It's the meth capital of Texas. I have not been in that part, but maybe.
how hot something seems, if the fundamentals aren't there, like the infrastructure and affordability and long-term growth, it won't last. Remote work isn't a forever guarantee. Basing your life on a Zoom job might be the safest long-term move. Don't buy real estate during FOMO. If you bought a $600,000 home in Austin in 2022, that might be worth $470,000 now. Ouch. And cities are more than just trends. Awesome is still awesome. Music, food, lifestyle, it's all still there, but the hype cycle is pretty much over.
Over for now. I think it's going to be a boom and bust. Boom and bust. When did I relocate to Austin? 2018, I think?
Waterline represents the peak of Austin's boom, but will it also represent...
North Austin? Not true anymore. You got old information.
A sign of its crash? Some experts say these developments, especially the luxury ones, are too much too fast, and that the demand is just not going to keep up with all of this new supply.
The last few years have been a reminder that real growth takes time.
Austin's a creative city, so it does attract sort of people who like to migrate for periods of time, do something, and then they kind of head out.
You know what? He uploaded this a month ago, but he fucking filmed this in the winter. Look, the trees are dead. It was actually pleasant weather out. Gosh, I miss it. Can't wait to get there again.
I think the only thing keeping Austin from being just as good as LA or just as good as like one of the SoCal cities is just the fact that it gets scorching hot for like 6 months out of the year.
It's very much the Texas attitude is, if you dream it, do it. There's the Texas outlaw spirit is still pretty strong.
This city is still evolving, but
it's a great place to build a business. I mean, I keep going back and forth between places I should be. It's still a great place for us to build our business. You know, that's the hard part.
Gold rush is probably over. So is Austin's boom over, or is this just a correction? Will things kind of settle themselves out in the next
when debt becomes more affordable, I think Austin will have a boom again. It's what happens in cities like this.
Couple years. I want to know what you think.
I'm not gonna lie, I hate Austin. That's because the roads suck. The roads here are better than the roads in places I've lived in before this, but I guess that just means there's better roads out there.
In the comments below. While you're at it, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one at Upton.
Pretty good video. It's fine. I think it's a boom and bust city. Not too crazy. Hey, Caleb Hammer stream fans, make sure you get your financial score for free. Take the assessment at calebhammer.com or dollarwise.com. It's free. See where you stand in the world of finances.